Whenever you're ready, we're going to start laying down. So find your way to your yoga mat if you're not there already, or some other comfortable space. We'll get comfy. Maybe starting in Shavasana with your arms and legs extended, or maybe constructive rest pose with your knees bent and your feet standing up near the edges of your mat. And just let your body, any tension from the day, just start to let it melt. Like right now, I'm getting kind of this sensation of like uncrumpling. Like just letting myself relax into the floor. Just kind of smoothing things out, noticing your breath, the interaction between your breath and any tightness or sensation you're feeling through your muscles. You might let your head slowly rotate to one side and then way over to the other side, even slower than normal, keeping that meditative quality. Anytime you find a knot or a little energetic roadblock or tension or anything, see if you can create a little expansion there using your awareness and your breath. Unclenching your jaw. Breathing even lower, like you could breathe all the way down to the sacrum. And if there is an intention that you'd like to set or someone you'd like to call to mind, dedicate your practice to today, feel free to bring something or someone to mind now. Noticing your shoulders, taking a breath in, bringing just a little bit of tension or a little squeeze there through the shoulders with your exhale, relaxing. We'll do a little tense and release like that a couple more times. We'll inhale, just bring a little bit of activation, a little bit of tension through the shoulders, the upper back. And then exhale, release. You can do the same thing with your face. Your inhale, just kind of squeezing everything together, or maybe opening your mouth wide. And then with an exhale, letting everything come back to a nice, soft, relaxed state. You can practice this tense and release in any other parts of the body that feel necessary, like maybe the arms, the legs, your feet. Just a few more rounds of breath here, tense and release. And then we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, straightening arms and legs in opposite directions, reaching for a long body stretch. And banana pose will be next. Let's walk the heels over toward the right edge of your mat, keeping your heels down, or maybe crossing your left ankle over your right. Go ahead and pull the left arm slightly toward the right and feel that nice long stretch through the left side of your body. Breathing in, feeling that expansion, the left side of your body grows. And your exhales have you just kind of softening into your experience. Feel free to stay right here or add on a little bend to your left elbow. So hold your head, your left hand, in your left hand. Sorry, the pets are distracting me. And then if it's comfortable, you can reach up and over so your right hand will go to the left elbow and just kind of cradle that your head in your left hand, your arms. Just gonna continue this side bend toward the right. We'll eventually switch sides. So letting your arms just relax down. Walk your heels over toward the left edge of your mat, maybe keeping your heels down or crossing your right ankle up and over. Grab hold of that right arm and pulling gently toward the left. Let's side bend and expand through that right side this time. Option to stay here or bend that right elbow, hold your head or your neck in your hands, reaching your left hand across for the right elbow. Just kind of holding right there. People. Ooh. Eventually. Eventually we'll come back to the center and then we'll start to come up to a seat. So turning on to either side. Well, actually, before we come up to a seat, let's pull the knees in toward the chest. Just take a little bit of movement there, rocking and rolling a little bit of weight around your low back. We will make our way up to a seat at some point here. So maybe rocking and rolling up or turn on to either side and then press your way up here. So we'll end up in a seat. Feel free to sit up on something if that's more comfortable. Otherwise, we'll just sit up nice and tall, feeling your sitting bones, grounding down into the mat, into the floor. You can prop yourself up a little bit here, lengthening upwards through the spine. Just like a half tuck of your chin, so the back of your neck feels nice and long. Like you're perfectly balancing each vertebrae on top of the next on your spine so that it's as easy as possible for you to just be upright and seated. With an inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead. Looking up as your hands join, and exhale, hands come down to heart center, tucking your chin at the bottom. Inhale, hands go high. Exhale, back bend, a little back bend. So our arms basically just reach out. Inhale, hands reach high. Exhale, lower, back down. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, reaching back up. And exhale, cactus the arms, broaden through the collarbones. Inhale, last time, reaching high. And then exhale, let's twist towards the right. So the left hand comes to the right knee. Find a spot for your right hand to help you sit up nice and tall here first and foremost. Breathing in at the top. And then with an exhale, slowly turning your neck, turning your gaze toward the right. Inhale, unwind just enough for a full breath in. And exhale, twist. This time we're gonna stay at the end of your twist. So where you feel good as your end spot of your twist, just pause there. And I invite you to let go of your hands and see if you can keep yourself in that position with your muscles instead of your hands. So that will be our active range of motion here when we're not holding on. If you came back a little ways, that's because sometimes we get into our passive range of motion as we go. So coming back to center, let's consider that as we go to the next side. So bring your right hand to the left knee and your left hand up behind you, sitting up nice and tall here first. Exhale, twisting to the left. If you want to check, just let go of your hands, or maybe not even using your hands with your inhale, unwind just enough for a full breath in. And exhale, twist to the left. And come back to center when you're ready. Let's transition to hands and knees for cat and cow. So fingertips spread out here. Before we actually do cat and cow, just let your head kind of start to hang here. Might kind of nod your head yes or shake your head no. Letting a little bit of tension here, maybe released with the help of gravity. So I invite you to close your eyes here as we consider a cat and cow today through the shoulders first. So let's imagine our entire bodies here are just in our shoulders. So close your eyes and imagine we're in the shoulders. With our inhale, our shoulders are finding cow pose, that's right. And then exhale to cat pose. And this can start out really mini. So just see what that does through the shoulders only. If you're inhaling, what are your shoulders doing as you get to cat pose or cow? And then exhale to cat. So we're just getting into this really little movement here. You can start to grow it a little bigger until you end up in your full cat and cow. Try to keep this awareness of how your shoulders are moving throughout. Maybe you try a couple other experimental movements here, focused on sensation through the shoulders. All right, let's thread the needle next. So we're planting that left hand down with your inhale, reach your right hand high, circle your right wrist a couple times. Option to circle out your right shoulder as well. And when you're ready, we will thread the needle. If you prefer not to have your head down low, like our normal thread the needle, you can stay up here and inhale as you reach high, and then exhale as you dip and twist, getting that same part of the spine, the thoracic spine. So up to you if you want to do movement here, or if you want to kind of settle in, you can do a little of both. Two more breaths. And then we'll start to come on up. We're switching sides. So the right hand plants, left arm reaches high, left wrist circling, maybe the left arm, the shoulder, taking some nice big circles as well. And eventually we'll move into that thread the needle or thoracic twisting. Inhaling as you rise and exhale as you twist. So active or settling on in. Two more breaths. then start to make your way back up. Let's come on down to the stomach. Crocodile pose is next. So let's stack the hands, the fists, or the forearms beneath the forehead. Just rest your head on top. Let your heels or your legs just kind of relax out to the sides, or maybe you kind of let your legs kind of flop around a little bit here first, and then settle in. Checking back in with your shoulders. Soften where you can. And then we'll basically be doing a counter pose to that thread the needle action. So like the opposite movement, open wing pose. So we will straighten that right arm off to the right side. It doesn't have to be straight. You could have like a cactus arm or like at an angle. You get to choose here. Press your left hand into the mat and then start to press your way onto your right side. Focusing on like the head of the right shoulder. Just kind of let your left leg hang out in space there, or maybe you find something to rest your left foot on. If you want to add a little more twist into the low back, you can try to reach your left toes toward the right hand. Check in with your breath here. If you're not able to breathe very deep, that's maybe a sign that we're trying too hard. It's easy to do. And then eventually we will switch sides. Let's come back to the stomach. Let the left arm go out wide. And then start to press the right hand into the floor. Open wing pose. That right leg now could be reaching back or just finding a comfortable place to rest on the floor. Checking in with the breath. And eventually coming back to center. Start to press your way up to tabletop and back to child's pose. Extended child's pose if you'd like. Knees out wide toward the edges of your mat, toes touching behind you. And then starting to sink your seat toward your heels. If you are feeling more tightness there through the shoulders, this is another good one. You can kind of add on like it feels kind of to me like a bouncy motion side to side with the chest. But feel free to keep exploring. With an inhale, let's come up to tabletop, getting blocks in place if you want them. Downward dog. And then finding our way to downward dog. So curling your toes under, picking up your knees. Finding the breath here. If it feels like too much for any reason to have your head low like that, you can find a chair or a couch in your space to bring your hands onto, or even the wall if you have a wall close by. You know me, I love a wall pose. So lots of ways to think about adapting for your needs of the day. Okay, let's add some kind of squat-like movement to this. So just bending and then straightening your knees. For me, my knees like want to go way out wide. Just bending the knees a little bit somehow. And then make your way to the top of your mat. Rise all the way up to stand. at the top. Let's get a little shakeout going. Maybe lifting and lowering your shoulders or lifting and lowering your heels a couple times. Shaking it out. Okay. So come on up to the top of your mat. Let's start flow. With your inhale, reaching both hands high, possibly touching your hands overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, rise up to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower your heels. Inhale, rise up to tippy toes. Reach your hands high. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bringing hands to the floor. Let's step just the right foot back. Lower your right knee down to the mat. Inhale, rising up, low crescent moon. Exhale here. We're just going to be here for a little bit. You can kind of come in and out of that sweet spot of this pose, or play around with engaging through your core a little bit more. Let's take a big breath in, coming up to center. Exhale, open arm twist toward the left. A little bit of balance here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Curl your right toes under, pick up your right knee, step on back, downward dog. Big breath in and out. Inhale, come forward to your high plank. Exhale, lower down. We'll go through 3 rounds of baby cobra at your own pace here. Pressing the tops of your feet down as you rise up through the head and the heart. And exhale, lower. Inhaling as you rise. And exhaling, lower. One last time, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Take one breath, resting right here. With an inhale, rise up, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Breathing in and out. In and out. Let's think about coming right from our child's pose to our downward dog. So without even coming through tabletop, you can grab onto your blocks a little bit here, curl your toes under, and then kind of come forward through plank and then down dog. So we're not making that normal pit stop. All right, big breath in here, reach through the shoulders, and exhale, a little micro bend of the knees. 2 more breaths. Inhale, spread out the toes, and exhale. Last breath in, last breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look up toward the top of your mat. Exhale and walk your hands to the back of your mat. So you end up at the back in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, bending your knees deeper. Inhale, rise all the way up, joining hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a few moments to yourself. Notice what sensations or thoughts or what's present in your experience. Not that you have to find something there, just noticing, keeping in touch. And then let's take a clearing breath, We'll inhale through the nose and sigh to release. All right. We're going to tippy toe up to the top of our mat. So your choice, how high or low you want to have your heels here. You could take a step and come flat foot back down to the ground or stay up on your tippy toes the whole time. Go ahead and just explore tiptoeing to the top of your mat. And once you get to the top of your mat, lowering your heels. And then we're going to do it again. So walk back to the back of your mat. This time, your instructions will be to not do it in a straight line. So coming up to your tippy toes, try to do it like with slightly unpredictable steps, okay? So not destable, but just kind of like no one would guess where your next step might be. Maybe you take a step to the side, just being safe, of course. Eventually take a couple more windy ways to get there, eventually ending back up at the top, lower down. All right, just kind of some dynamic balancing here. We're back up at the top of the mat here, maybe rocking forward and back over your feet or side to side. With an inhale, let's reach both hands high. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step just the left foot back and lower your left knee down. Inhale, reaching your hands up. Low crescent lunge. Breathing here. Really feeling a good stretch through my left quad right now. And we're coming back up to a more neutral position. With an exhale, let's open arm twist toward the right. A couple of breaths. And when you're ready, come on back to the center. Inhale and exhale. Lower your hands down to the floor and step your right foot back to meet your left. Downward dog. Big breath in. And out. Whew. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest all the way down. I don't know if anyone saw that, but Mabel literally did down dog at the same time I was. I'll have to see if I can get a still shot of that. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, rise. This time, let's stay lifted for the exhale. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, child's pose. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Just how we did before, if it felt interesting to you, let's see about skipping tabletop and going right from our child's pose to downward dog with a little plank in between. So we're just kind of rising up, curl the toes under, and downward dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look toward the top of your mat. Exhale, walk your feet towards the back. Let's end up in a little squat at the back. That could end up being in like a halfway lift position. Some kind of knee bending squat for you. And then we'll forward fold, straightening the legs here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full deeper bend of your knees. Inhale, rise all the way up, hands join overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take a few moments again, just honoring whatever's present. All right, and a clearing breath in through the nose. And a sigh to release. All right, opening up your eyes. Let's do a little bit of balancing here. Let's do tree pose today. So if you want to stand by a wall, you can. If you're just going to stand out without anything to hold on to, we're just getting into place. Let's shift your center of gravity over that right foot and kickstand your left knee out to the side. Tree pose. Touch. Touch. If you want, maybe sliding that left foot up a little higher. We're taking some hand or arm variations. Normally we choose a drishti or an unmoving focal point to not only focus at, but kind of focus through or look through. You could experiment with holding that fixed gaze or doing the opposite. Maybe let your gaze just gently roam, seeing if that brings any new dynamics in to your experience. Take your time, either staying a little longer or coming down right now. Let's shake out the right leg, that standing leg, and then we'll shift to the other side. So the left foot we're standing on, and the right knee gets kickstand out towards the side. You could start with that fixed focal point and then begin to move. Take any foot or arm or hand variations as you go. This is your time to be a tree. And whenever you've had enough, we'll step back down, shake it out a little bit here, and we'll head down to the floor. We'll head right on down. And then we'll hug the knees in toward the chest as we arrive. Maybe rocking and rolling a little bit over the low back. And then let's set the feet down. Arms can come out to the side for support. Let's start to lift and straighten or almost straighten that left leg. Rotate out your left ankle. Bend and straighten a couple times. Same with that left knee. And then figure four. We'll plant that left ankle on the right thigh. You could press your left hand into the left knee or just stay put. If you want, maybe pointing and straightening your ankles some more, your toes. We'll turn this into a twist. So we'll do it a little bit in both directions. So just kind of naturally letting your figure four legs sway side to side. You could keep moving like that or find somewhere to pause along the way. If you want, you could turn your gaze or your face, your head in the opposite direction that your knees or your legs are twisting towards. And then coming back to the center. Once again, let's straighten or almost straighten that left leg up. And then lower your left foot down. Switching sides, the right leg goes high. Lots of movement through the right ankle, the right toes, eventually the right knee as well. And figure four comes next when you're ready. Crossing your right ankle on top of that left thigh. Maybe staying right there or pressing your right hand into your right knee a little bit. Maybe bending and straightening your ankles or stretching out your toes. And eventually moving into a little bit of a twist both ways. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side or pausing along the way. Okay, coming on back to center. Let's take a long body stretch. Arms and legs reaching in opposite directions, like you're making a little snow angel. Let's reach the arms out to the sides as well. You can kind of do the snow angel back and forth a few times. If it feels like a lot on your shoulders, you could keep your arms, your elbows bent, and maybe do more of like a, what is this, arm? It's not arm press, but some kind of movement through the arms that does feel okay on your shoulders. And then if there are any last poses or movements that you'd like before our final meditation, now is your time to move through those. Maybe a happy baby or another little twist. As you consider setting yourself up for our final rest today, if you'd like a little extra something, maybe grabbing a sweatshirt or a, let's see what we've got here, a blanket. Let's grab a blanket maybe. For those of you who have tight shoulders or even like a tight chest, sometimes when we're working a lot on the computer or writing or just kind of in that hunched over position, sometimes the chest actually gets quite tight. So we can kind of counteract that here. I'm gonna make a little strip here to go between my shoulder blades. Feel free to do the same if that would feel nice to you. Hey, this isn't a toy. Where's your toy? Here. Make your way do anything that you need to get cozy. Mabel wants this blanket. Mabel. Here, take this. You like that. Okay. And in our final rest here, we'll do another breathing meditation as we do commonly in our classes here. I'm going to try to find like the minimum but optimum viable breath for you. So it's kind of thought there's like a style of meditation and breath work that believes that breathing as little as possible is better. Which sounds so goofy. It's not like breathing less air, it's like taking less breaths but higher quality breaths, you know. Less is more. So let's try to find that. Let's try to find these rich breaths that are slow but steady so that we don't end up, feeling anxious or anything. Slow but steady breaths. Just seeing if you can get to that minimum, maximum viable breath style. Some say that you can, some people who have practiced a lot maybe can get to like 3 or 4 breaths a minute. I don't know. Let's try to find ease and flow with it and not just aim for like huge goals. Let's just see how it unfolds. Making these last few minutes here whenever it starts feeling like a natural reawakening time, let's just start slow with wiggles of fingers and toes. Letting your head turn side to side. Maybe going into a long body stretch or a yawn or a swallow. Eventually rolling onto either side and then pressing your way up to a comfortable seat. We will join hands at heart center. All right, let's seal in our practice with a little bow forward. Thank you, everyone.